Hi everybody, welcome to Sailing Chandlery and welcome to our series of rope splicing videos. So over the next 3 videos we're going to show you 3 techniques that you could do with rope for your dinghy. So first up in the first video we're going to show you how to do an eye splice and also a locking splice. In the second video we're going to show you how to taper, so take a rope from kind of its original down into Dyneema core, taper it down nicely. And in the third video we're going to show you how to make a set of continuous control lines to go all the way around your dinghy, so essentially you're not getting to the end or a stop point on your system. It will continuously run all the way around through your pulleys, cleats and everything else in your boat. So in this first video I'm going to show you how to do an eye splice and also a locking splice after that. So in front of me we've got a few of the tools which we use here at Sailing Chandlery, some of our most popular tools for our rope splicing. It's important to say, if you're not confident doing this rope splicing, we do offer a rope splicing service, so get in touch, give us your diameters, specifications, and we can tailor your ropes for your boat. So in front of me with tools we've got which we're going to use, D-Splicer, D16 scissors, so these are laser sharpened rope scissors specifically designed for Dyneema, which will cut through nicely. So if you were to use kitchen scissors on Dyneema, it just won't go through, you'll end up chewing it up and make a real hard job of it. But the D-Splicer scissors will go through nicely, as you'll see in a bit. Then also got a 4mm and a 5.5mm Selma fid. So these are most popular with the dinghy ropes we do because they're smaller diameter. There is also a 7, a 10 and a 13mm option for these for dealing with larger ropes. The last tool we're going to use is this D-Splicer. So this is a really handy tool, one of our best selling splicing tools. Allows you to grip rope and thread it back down the centre. This D-Splicer kit comes with 4 different needles. So you'll see another example of one here. And what you can do is you can just unscrew the head on this and very easily just pop that out, swap the needle, put the larger one back in, go in and screw it up again. And you've got a needle which is available for different diameters. So there's 4 of those available. It comes in a handy storage tube as well. So a really good tool. So here we go. We're going to show you how to do an eye splice in this rope. So for this example we're using Gottifredi Maffioli compact braid. This is a 5mm 12 strands Dyneema rope. Here at Sailing Chandlery we sell a lot of ropes from Kingfisher, Gottifredi Maffioli and also Marlow as well. So a few different options in terms of compact braid, rig 12, D12, D12 max, lots of different options in terms of looking at 12 strand Dyneema. So first up what we're going to do is just with the end here, this has been heat sealed so it's quite tough. So what we're going to do is just take the end off of this, just go back to the kind of 12 strand normal Dyneema. So we'll cut into that with our scissors, take the end off, just soften it up a bit. So first up you've got to work out how big you want your eye. So with this we'll adjust it and we'll just do a dummy eye here as well. One other thing we do sell here at Sailing Chandlery, which I've got an example here, is the stainless steel hard eyes. So obviously this is quite a large hard eye for larger braid on braid ropes, but we do offer these in 3mm up. So if you want to add some protection, maybe you're adding a shackle on there, you want to protect the rope, you can work out and splice around there. Obviously this one is far too large for this rope, but it's just an example, but they're available should you need them. So if we work out, okay, let's say we're going to do our eye here, we need to leave enough space to taper this down here. So leave about that much space, should be good. And the first thing we're going to do is get our fid and we're going to work through the hole. So the advantage of using compact braid Dyneema is it's got a specific coating on it, so it's very hard wearing. It does make it a little bit tougher to splice than other Dyneema ropes in all honesty, but it means it won't fray, and with that coating it's very good on applications where the rope's being adjusted a lot up and down through purchase systems and things. So what we're going to do first of all is just work our way with the Selma fid, so we can open this rope up nicely. Just work our way through the centre of that. So just need to make sure you go right through the centre of the strands, make sure you're not off to one specific side, and just work that through there in the middle. So through here, and then we can just bury this in here. So with this Selma fid, it's got this little catch here. Not sure if you can see that. But essentially that will stop the rope coming back. So you can, with these different diameters, there's obviously a different centre hole here, different diameter in the middle, but they've all got the little catchers, and what you can do once that's in there, just hook it on the catcher and it prevents the rope coming back. But essentially what we're going to do, go through here like this, just uncatch and come off, make your eye. We're not going to do a specific eye today size because it's just an example. But then what we need to do is go back through the rope as well. So again, just open up the Dyneema gently, and work your fid through the centre there. Again, we can put this back in here. Now for larger diameter ropes, you can actually use the Selma fid to go down the centre of them. It would be a little bit tight doing it with this 5mm rope and a 5mm fid. So, but larger ropes, you can feed this down the middle. So once you've got that there, that's going to ideally kind of stay in place, but it will slip and move because it's not a locking splice. So if you wanted to adjust it, you can just pull it out a little bit more and a bit more this way, get your perfect eye size there. And then what we need to do is we then need to bury this tail inside here. So I'm going to make this eye a little bit bigger for this example here. Work that through. But essentially what we need to do in tapering this is this rope at this thickness is not going to go inside here, or it's going to be really, really hard. So what we need to do is taper it down. So this is a 12 strand Dyneema rope. So there's essentially means there's 12 strands of Dyneema which make it up, which are twined together. So we need to take it from fat down to thin. So essentially, because it's 12 strand, we'll take half of those strands out. So we need to use our fid, and we can change to the smaller 4mm here, just to pick these out. So it's really important that I cut the heat seal off before and let this loose, because if it's heat sealed and gripped together, as you're unpicking these, the rope won't go back that way. So if we take 6 of these out, so just gently try and get your fid in, make sure you're pulling from this end up. You can see we've lifted it up now. It'll start to come undone. We'll coil up a little bit, but just gently pull it through. It'll get looser as it goes. So that's one of those out. So we need to do 6 all the way along. So let's take number 2 here. Try and evenly space them out, but you need to work out, just make sure that you're doing 6 of them by the time you get to the end. So it's 2, 3, 4. Try and keep this straightened out when you're doing it. Try and keep these linked together as well, rather than pulling them all apart, because it'll make your life easier in a minute when we come to bury this back down the centre. So that's 5, and we'll take one right at the end here. This one here. So hopefully you can see now we've essentially given this rope a bit of a haircut, and taken those 6 strands out. What we need to do now is just slice them off. So just with the scissors, nice and easily, just work through, take those off. 3, 4, 5, and 6. So essentially you've got rope going fat to thin with this taper now. So what we now need to do is bury this back inside. So this is where the de-splicer comes in. So de-splicer needle, essentially, if we just get rid of that rope over there, what we need to do is take this in here. So what we're going to do is put the de-splicer up the inside of this rope here, pop it out at the top, we'll grip this end, and then we'll pull it back in gently, and that'll make a nice taper. So here we go. So what I would usually do is just measure here, make sure you've got enough space, and then where it comes out, just pop the Dyneema open, and you can start to feed the fid down the middle. So what I usually do is rest it against my stomach here, and you can just slowly, if you slowly pull this gently, the rope will open up. You can just feel the needle go all the way down. Again, with the compact braid, this is nice and easy because it's coated. Some other ropes that are not coated will start to fray, and you just need to be a bit careful as you're going up. You need to make sure it's always in the centre. It's not popped out anywhere along here. And once you've got that out, we've got the needle there. So you can essentially just open that needle up a little bit. Make sure all the rope's in. You only want to catch it a little bit. If it's bunched too big, it won't go back in. But essentially, now we can start to work this up. The first bit's a bit tough, getting it back in here. But there you go, you can see it started to bury down inside and it's going down. Essentially at the bottom here, you can pull it out. Once it's out, just make sure you grab it nice and hard. Pull it as tight as you can. You can work the external cover up here as well. But essentially, once that's done now, and you're happy it's out, you can do that. And you will see that this, this loop done like this will move. So we can pull the loop a little bit tighter like that. But in this instance, we won't do that because we're trying to bury and taper back down. So we've got that there. Just pull it down. You usually will end up, because you've made this rope fatter, it's not as long, so you usually end up with a little bit left here. Now, the reason we taper down is to get more grip inside here. So with this being a 12-strand hollow braid rope, there's a hole in the middle and it's wrapped around essentially. So we're putting that tail down there, and as you pull this tighter, essentially what this is going to do, this bit along here, is grip it. So it's going to get a real good grip on it. The tighter it goes, and it won't let the core go. If you don't taper down, then it's more likely to slip. So that's the reason we go from the 12 down to the 6. And to tidy this up, what I would usually do here is just pull a little bit more out. Just go, make sure you're not getting the rest of the Dyneema. Just give it a good cut here. Get that in, push it down, and essentially that's your taper done. So that's the process of a 12-strand kind of eye splice. Now we said we'd also look at a locking splice as well. If we switch to the other end of the rope, the only difference here, well essentially if we cut this in the middle here, yeah, we can do that there. So let's just cut this as an example and start with a fresh bit of Dyneema. Again, I've cut this off, which means it's not heat sealed. This end is heat sealed. Essentially, same process, but a slight difference here. When you go through the first time, when you've got your eye worked out, you know where you want to go. Let's put this in here again. Essentially, you go through first time. You can use these fids either way if you're pushing and pulling. I know I've used it the other way there. And essentially, if you want to have a locking splice, what we did in the last one is we took the tail back through again. But if you take this back through the tail, then it's not going to move. So essentially, open this up here, open the tail up a little bit. Open it up here. Pull that through, and you just take the main end of the rope, so this will be dependent on you having it available and being able to do it. You can essentially feed that through, back through here, and what that's done is it's locked these two together, so you can shuffle them up, make them a bit closer, a bit tidier, essentially, but you can't pull it one way and you can't pull it the other way, so this locks the eye in position, where the other one we went through and back and you can slide it backwards and pull it forwards. This one, because the two ropes are working against each other, it puts a hard point there where it can't go that way, it can't go that way. And then from that you can obviously again taper down your 6 strands and bury it down again. So that's the approach to do the locking eye, and then we've got the standard eye here. Now hopefully that makes sense. Very quick introduction to splicing in terms of 12-strand Dyneemas. As I said, here at Sailing Chandlery, we've got all of the tools available and a massive variety of Dyneema ropes as well. So if you've got any questions about this splicing, any of our ropes or our splicing tools, then please just get in touch with the team. We're here and happy to help. Thanks a lot for watching.